Legal punches are here on up. Touch gloves, good luck to both of you.
It says now that he has suddenly in training camp learned.
No, but so far he seems to be doing everything that he said he would do. He seems to be trying to stay upright. He's working behind that beautiful left jab that he has and placing his shots very well. Good watching this left jab.
The jab disappeared in the last 4 rounds.
Well, Oscar has a very good left jab, maybe one of the best left jabs ever in the history of boxing.
Forbes seems intent. Oscar go to the body.
He has various plans for neutralizing the jab, right hand, countering with his own jab. And you see the stiffness of the De La Hoya jab there, knocking Forbes back.
Well, this is the style that he intends to try to employ.
To do differently, Emmanuel, to have a chance to beat Floyd Mayweather.
To do exactly. In the first fight, he came out throwing himself out, and Floyd just rested, took his time, and then
right hands over the top by De La Hoya, and then later acknowledged that De La Hoya had improved that punch in recent years. A left hook lands for Forbes, and another, and a straight right hand to finish off the round.
You know, you're gonna work just a few seconds and beat Oscar.
First round about jabbing, he threw 39 for Oscar and for welterweights in general. And incidentally, when Jeff Mayweather talks about Oscar, he's talking from first-hand personal experience. De La Hoya knocked Jeff Mayweather out. Right now, he's got Forbes totally on the defensive.
Oscar stepping it up now. A variety of everything.
I think he shocked Forbes with his power in this round. But for about 10 seconds there, he seemed to have been taken back.
Nice little left.
Good left hook inside by Steve Forbes.
And this is where...
Tiny trickle of blood out of Steve Forbes' right nostril. Chooses not to throw back, he makes Oscar look good.
But he just doesn't do it often enough. His rhythm, he works totally different than he does when he's flat-footed. And has better punching power when he's on his toes.
Stop at the bell, you got 5 seconds.
Here you see Oscar through a nice flurry of combinations. All of them was very well placed, but none of them that clearly landed where they had that much really devastating effect. He's faster, crisper with his punches, and has much more explosive power.
Numbers are an accurate indicator. He's won the jabbing contest of 80 for Forbes. Interesting that Forbes is throwing more, which is by far Oscar's biggest weapon.
But a little bit of a... like that.
Catching the right hand there with his left, and now the jab lands solidly.
Forbes has one of those defenses that invites a fighter like Oscar to throw flurries.
They're about 70% landing for cleaners, not all the way.
I think my hands are just as fast as yours.
This is a strategy in some early rounds.
And especially in view of the fact that he's not a knockout puncher himself. Larry.
The center of the ring. Forbes giving as good as he's getting.
It seems like his confidence is starting to grow as the fight goes on more.
Oscar De La Hoya. Jim, I love that way he shoe-shined in round 2. 3-0 De La Hoya.
He's the only one he said has never gotten his recognition. So
Forbes looks like now he wants to brawl.
In 2 or maybe 3 different styles. So he's a guy who's capable of making an adjustment during the fight if things aren't going well.
The most important thing...
And as De La Hoya's face begins to show marks, even from the relatively light-hitting Forbes 5 years.
With the situation, he feels that the fight is going pretty much, even though he feels he's losing, he's probably feeling going the way that he's fighting, very confident.
Ten seconds, gentlemen. Stop at that bell.
Forbes is indeed comfortable, landing about 35% of them so far. Here's a look at the Oscar De La Hoya jab, which has been set up by lively footwork so far.
His jab has been his only really truly successful punch. The rest of the flurries look good, but they're partially landed, but his jabs are right on the money tonight. Hoya can knock out anyone. His best punch is his left hook right there when he springs off on his toes. Forbes has never been hit too much with any for Oscar.
De La Hoya knocked out Ricardo Mayorga in May of 2006 because Mayorga is so easy to hit if you have boxing skill.
Well, the fact that he's a southpaw, so his best hand is always out front, and his best hand is what's won him most of his fights and why he's here.
Switching around, if you're a right-hander, fight as a southpaw. If you're a left-hander, fight in a conventional stance front. It worked for De La Hoya, it worked for Michael Moore.
Oscar's fighting very good fights, and both guys really. I mean, when you consider everything, Oscar's putting his combinations together, he's thinking about it, he's working his jabs, mixing up his work. And then Forbes is counter-punching and doing what he can do best, but he just isn't busy enough.
A somewhat look-alike for Floyd Jr.
But workout wasn't the goal. Knockout is the business that they must be looking for here, to try to build interest for the rematch with Mayweather. Seems to have won, so maybe the fight shifts just a little bit. Jabs through 5. De La Hoya shifting to an uppercut with the left hand. Misses twice. Now lands his jab.
Forbes delivers some hurt now.
Yeah, both of these guys after a couple of rounds back, and now he's gotten back into the fight. And now Forbes is coming back again.
Forbes' right hand shot there with the left.
You see where guys giving in and, lost confidence or whatever. But these guys both are showing a lot of determination and competitive spirit in their eyes.
De La Hoya beginning to slow down with the jab. Not throwing quite as many in this round.
Is why you do what you do, and perhaps more mindful of that jab.
Good right hand by De La Hoya.
59-55, comes right up with that left jab. He did it.
And somewhere, Jacksonville, Florida's 36-year-old Nate Campbell. You're the first with that, Harold. Forbes landed 3 punches on the belt line. Steve, you're going to have to keep your hands up because he's got a target now with this cut outside your eye. Good uppercut by De La Hoya. Mixed in an uppercut with the left hand amid those body shots, teaching the fighter to pick and parry and catch punches with his gloves.
Forbes would be doing something different if he had Roger Mayweather in his corner, Roger being the more offensive-minded
fighter. He's trying to figure out what Oscar's going to do next. And that's what Oscar wants to do. Oscar just setting a tempo that he can't handle.
You throw those combinations.
No, Oscar put together so many different variety of combinations of punches. Not any one punch is landing clean, as I said earlier. But it's just the consistency of those combinations from all different angles are beginning to take their effect as the fight goes on.
He's tensed up like a balled fist, tall.
In all of those fights, for the most part, he was ahead on point. In most all of those fights he lost, he was ahead on point. And
how much of it, Emmanuel, is that it's so much easier to relax? Hopkins and some of the other people he's fought.
That's all work off his jab, and he's doing everything he said.
Vargas was an 11th round knockout victim for De La Hoya back in 2003.
Let him go, Stevie, let him go.
With Floyd Mayweather Jr., but he ain't no Floyd Mayweather Jr., that's clear.
No, definitely is not. Floyd Mayweather's very special. Right here you see near the end of the round, Stevie Forbes landed a little weird left uppercut type shot that really bothered Oscar for a few seconds.
Well, of course, you saw the replay of the really good left-hand shot.
Bring it up, baby, bring it up.
Well, you heard Jeff Mayweather asking Steve Forbes to it off and said, well, pressure him intelligently.
Yeah, but Oscar set such a pace, he can't handle this. You know, he can't pressure Oscar.
All of that will conspire to maybe win him 2 or 3 rounds on the scorecards.
Carr gave him a round. I thought it was because he did better than he did in another round, but I don't.
De La Hoya very good with the left hand again here, landing hooks and jabs.
Oscar is sort of knocking that idea out of his head.
Absolutely, Larry.
Well, there's a part of you that wants to say Forbes is too good a fighter to buy the sparring partner mentality. But on the other hand, done for him in his career.
To fight Oscar where he's fighting tonight.
Not just a good fight, a tremendous fight.
Yeah, he mostly did in this last fight with Coley. I would say wicked right. And Vernon Force, he's fought nearly everybody from 130 to 160 that would fight him. He's not dodged anyone.
Oscar De La Hoya. Jim, I tell you, Oscar's landed a sensational combinations back right now. He is amazed. Stevie just doesn't have enough pop to win most of these rounds, but he certainly is trying.
Not long enough for me. In several recent outings.
Just exactly what he said he would do.
Incidentally, when we asked him about the disappearing jab against Mayweather, one of his observations, which was revealing, was, hey, I'm 35 and my body's not the same. But if he's got a rotator cuff problem, and he said that he did, it doesn't seem to be showing up here.
And the way he delivers with so much excitement. But
De La Hoya now says he's got rotator cuff issues in his shoulder, that he was invited to throw out the first pitch for the Dodger game last weekend. He knows he's never been knocked down. So there are certain risks that this is not a title fight. In saying, I'm not champion of anything. I think I'm just a contender. Fight 12 rounds. Is that part of the rehearsal for Mayweather?
Down to fighting a 10-round fight. Oscar seemed to be very determined, not even to lose a round. He's trying to win every round and every minute of every round if he can.
Big fights. Faded down the stretch in the fight against Mayweather last year.
But he's fighting the same aggressiveness in the 11th round.
Looking for the 39th victory of his career and looking to set up a September date for a rematch with Floyd Mayweather.
Based on this performance, because he's fighting a perfect fight, he's not running out of gas. He's looking like Oscar used to look about 10 years ago.
Manuel.
I think he looks very good.
Class above the other fighters on the contenders. He's suffering the same fate as some of them did.
Emmanuel, when you were training Oscar De La Hoya,
his toes staying tall, staying loose. Beautiful effort.
Living up to everything he promised before the fight. Natural gifts.
Yeah, and you know, he's doing everything tall.
Solid professional opponent who has as one of his greatest credentials the fact that he's never been down. Landed one big straight right hand in the middle of the ring.
Punch at least. So, you know, I give him credit, but not an excessive credit.
Let's see if Forbes is still trying to steal rounds. Referee Raul Caiz Jr. makes sure they know there are 10 seconds to go. And both fighters let their hands go. Or at least for a moment they did.
All to the winner by unanimous decision. From East LA, the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya.